All right, welcome back. We're going to be talking about hunger. The Global Hunger Index. Nigeria recently ranked 93rd out of 117 qualifying countries. And as it was said, with a score of 27.9, Nigeria suffers from a level of hunger, quote, that is serious. I have here with me Leonard Ebute, who's a farmer and a regular here on the show. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
I did say at the start of the show that there's a scarcity of chicken in the country, and now we're talking about hunger. But it seems to be one of the biggest focus of this government, agriculture. There's a lot of the policies, controversial quote unquote, that have come up have either involved rice or chicken or a ban on importation of food or things along those lines. So there seems to be some intent from government to want to fix the problem of hunger. Are the policies right? What do you think about what government has done so far in that space?
Okay, so first of all, let me take from the index itself. So there's something unique about the GHI. It measures, it doesn't just rank, it also actually measures the impact or the level of hunger in that respective country. So it's not just that we're 93rd, it's that from a rank of low to medium to serious to alarming to extremely alarming, we are in the serious hunger scenario, which means that we are under
There's
35.
a problem, pretty much.
There is a problem. So it's not just that if every country were good, somebody will still come last.
Yes.
And that person will still be great.
Yeah.
It's first of all saying there is a serious hunger problem in your country. Then we now rank 93rd. That's, for me, more important. But when you look at the index over the last, from year 2000 to now, Nigeria has trended quite well. In 2000, we were at 40%, which put us in the alarming quadrant or box. But we've trended nicely downwards. Every 5 years, we dropped 5 points, 5 points, 5 points. So it looks like the journey is going in the right direction. However, the striking thing is that it's only in the last 4 years, it's measured every 4 years, it's only in the last 4 years that the rate of decline in our hunger level was just 2%. So that's even more critical of the activities, the policies of the current government than the long-term scenario of it. So it means that whatever intervention is happening isn't producing as much fruit as previous interventions.
Yeah, and a lot of people find that very sort of contradictory. We hear a lot about, Nigeria is the highest producer of cassava. Nigeria is the highest producer of citrus. We hear tons and tons of tomatoes and all of these fruits that get discarded because they're not able to reach people. So there's the production, at least to an extent, of a lot of food, I want to believe. Where is the disconnect? Nigeria is supposed to be food sufficient. Really, when you compare to a lot of countries on the continent, we are not doing too badly with production. Or am I wrong? I don't know if I'm wrong with that. But is there a disconnect at all? If I'm right?
There is. So agriculture is built largely on a network of supporting services, particularly infrastructure. Security is a big part. So when widespread insecurity begins to happen, it's okay for us to have insecurity in localized spots. The overall impact on agriculture will not be as high when it is widespread. So with kidnapping growing and cutting across every state of Nigeria in the last 4 years, we saw that farmers couldn't go to their farm. The nomads and the herdsmen were clashing everywhere, and all of those. So on the production side, you could say we are the highest producer of certain crops, but the value chain is underdeveloped. The roads are bad. Insecurity is rife. There's no storage. There is no concerted private sector coordinating with government to provide full value chain intervention that will set Nigeria on the course of not just being the biggest in terms of production, but the biggest in terms of total value per crop. So today we are the biggest in cassava. Thailand exports far more cassava products than we do. But we are the biggest in terms of production, producing nearly 20% of total global production. Okay? We are importing a lot of rice, but we have capacity to produce sufficient rice for this. Nigeria has 82 million hectares of arable land. 82 million. Just 2 million out of that will stop importing wheat. Just 3 million out of that will stop importing rice. So the potential to take a sector, not just window dress it with good policies and paper support and political posturing, but to actively build a network of infrastructure, security, and all of this, the value chain enablers to grow that structure and become big. We're talking all fair to say you don't become the best by accident. Yeah. You focus, you choose a target, you focus, and then you nail it.
Is it a farmer issue? Don't we have enough farmers? You say we have a lot of land. So is it that are the farmers not doing enough, or are the farmers not sort of equipped? What is the problem there?
Oh, so the total cultivated land area out of the 82 million hectares, only about 40% is cultivated. And this 40%, probably 95% of the 40% is cultivated using subsistence means. Why? Because the farmer is poor. And there is no coordination. So commercial agriculture, there are certain enablers. If you have a 5-hectare farm and you're farming maize, for example, it's almost impossible for you to own a tractor. It's too small. The smallest tractor will probably do like 1.5 hectare or 1 hectare a day, which means after 5 days of plowing, it will be idle. Another 5 days of harrowing, it will be idle. Another 5 days of ridging, it will be idle. So the smallest tractor in 15 days will be done with your work. For that farmer to be mechanized, there must be a network of rice farmers, clusters of rice farmers. And Nigeria thought about this when they did the so-called staple crop processing zones. But the staple crop processing zones are right now dots on markers and maps. You know.
Very quickly now, the closure of the borders was quite controversial. Farmers seem to be happy about it, we hear, because it made more demand for them. How does that affect hunger?
We're just seeing the results. I mean, first of all, the closure was done when? Sometime in September. Yes. It's already end of the farming season. Farmers can't react, expand their farm, grow sufficient rice. From September, it's already effectively dry season. Yeah. And dry season rice cultivation is still a small part of total rice production. So from a timing point of view, it was wrong. And from a policy standpoint, well, protectionism does not help when you are the dominant regional player. Nigeria in West Africa, like the tourist guys are saying, we are dominant. We are supposed to be the Naira is supposed to be the currency of the region. And trade and commerce around West Africa should be clustered around Nigeria. So closing your borders, what does that even mean? The point of a border is that there's restricted access. So I don't even understand the whole concept of closing the border. Are we saying that the restriction around access we have always had has failed? That is a story that we all have known. It has collapsed for a very long time. So if the government is going to now build real border control systems and allow legitimate importers to bring in items through the land borders, pay the right duty, that has a more positive impact on commerce, particularly on hunger. Rice is 28,000, 23,000, even the local rice. And then it's not available. Chicken is not available at Chicken Republic, like you mentioned. So people will go hungry when food is not available, even if it raises the potential for people to invest in food production. But there is a gestation in agriculture. You don't move from 0 to 5,000 hectares, even if you have all the resources. It's going to take you a 2, 3, 4 years transition to get there. And so we cannot cut and nail policies and expect that overnight the economy will react positively. That's not going to happen.
Well, not the brightest note to end the show today, but thank you very much, Leonard Ebute. It's the holiday season. Hopefully people find some rice and chicken to eat. We do want everybody to stay happy and start 2020 with some great energy and happier than hopefully they ended or they will be ending 2019. Well, like I always say, you can follow the conversation on Twitter. Rubbin Minds now is our handle. Please use the hashtag Rubbin Minds when you tweet at us. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Sunday.